Hello, it's Bobi, aka Paginator, and it's time for our December 2025 TBR game. So this month I do have a priority shelf, and it is the books that I recently hauled in a Barnes & Noble shopping trip. I'm going to try to get at least some of them on there because I know my students are going to be wanting me to read the ones that I picked. And if you're wondering what that's all about, go check out that vlog. I will link it in the space down below. But for now, let's get into the rolls. All right, here we go with our rolls. And before I do roll number one, I do want to say I tried turning different lights off and adjusting the light situation, and we always have a glare. So we just have to deal. Okay, number one, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which way do I want to go? I think we're going to go pink YA. And we have romance, at least part of the story. Okay, number one, we need a YA with some romance in it, and we're going to go with Heart Check. This is one of my recently hauled books, and this synopsis says, Luke Dawson and Harper Braden could have been friends. They traded shifts at the same diner, shared classes at school, and are driven by their greatest passions, hockey for Dawson and jewelry making for Harper. But some things aren't meant to be. Harper thinks that Dawson is a self-centered jock, a perfect fit for a hockey team that seems to absorb all the budget and attention at their sports-obsessed high school. Dawson thinks that Harper is stuck up, too good for anything resembling school spirit. When his beloved hockey coach gets fired for misallocation of funds, Dawson is terrified that his plans for impressing scouts are vanishing before his eyes. A rumor goes around that Harper was the one who got coach fired, and suddenly she's public enemy number one. No one wants to associate with her, much less buy her friendship bracelets. But even with their mutual dislike in an all-time high, Harper and Dawson can't escape splitting shifts forever. Can forced proximity help them find some common ground, or will long-held grudges finally succeed in bringing each other down? I am pretty dang sure that we are having some romance in here. I mean, we have heart in the title. It was in the little YA romance section in the store, and there's a heart right there. Like, this has got to be. Roll number 2. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yellow. Let's go yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yellow fantasy. Creature of any kind on the cover. Roll number 2, we need a fantasy with a creature of any kind on the cover, and we're going to go with another one of the books from my recent haul, which is Bitten by Jordan Stephanie Gray. The lovely wolf there. So this one says, after a vicious werewolf attack on the night of her 17th birthday party, Vanessa Hart loses everything she loves in a split second. Her best friend, her father, and even her home. Bitten and imprisoned without explanation, Vanessa endures an agonizing transformation into the very beast that maimed her, and her captors make it clear that she cannot escape. She'll either swear her life to the Wolf Queen's court or she will die. With no other choice, Vanessa joins the court in enchanted castle Severy, where flowering vines grow through walls, gifts are bestowed by the stars, and a claw can break through skin as easily as it can silk. But she hasn't forgotten what they stole from her. Vanessa still seeks vengeance, scheming in the shadows, even as she finds herself mesmerized by the Golden Prince, Sinclair Severy, who threatened to steal her heart, though he is promised to her nemesis. Vanessa is also threatened by Sinclair's brooding, disgraced cousin Calix, whose smoldering gaze hides dangerous secrets. Immersed in the magic of their whimsical yet cruel society, Vanessa soon learns not all is as it seems. The court is at war, and Vanessa may be a pawn in its lethal game. Roll number 3. 2. 1, 2 green, 1, 2 yellow. Let's go green middle grade. School setting. Roll number 3, a middle grade with a school setting. I have had this one on my shelf for a little while, and it is School Ship Tobermory by Alexander McCall Smith. And it says, Ship ahoy! Ben and Fee McTavish are twins who've been homeschooled on a submarine. Now they're heading to the school ship Tobermory. This is no ordinary school. It's a sailing ship where students from around the world train to be sailors and learn about all things nautical. Come aboard as the kids set sail for their first adventure. Ben and Fee make friends as they adjust to life aboard the Tobermory. When a film crew arrives on a nearby ship, the Albatross, Ben is one of the lucky mates to be chosen as a movie extra. But after days filming, his suspicions are aroused. Are the director and crew really shooting a film, or are they protecting a secret on the lower decks of the Albatross? Ben, Fee, and their friends set out to investigate, and are they prepared for what they might find? Sounds like a fun little adventure. Rule number 4. 2. We have 1, 2 blue or 1, 2 yellow. Let's go blue. Blue is blue blank, which is genreless, age category-less, etc. Book of the month pick. Rule number 4, we got a blue blank, a book of the month pick, and I'm going to go with my most recent book of the month, which is Violet Thistlethwaite is Not a Villain Anymore. This is by Emily Krempholtz, and here is the synopsis. Guy Shadowfade is dead, and after a lifetime as the Dark Sorcerer's right hand, Violet Thistlethwaite is determined to start over, not as the fearsome Thorn Witch, but as someone kind, someone better, someone good. The quaint town of Dragon's Rest, Violet decides will be her second chance. She'll set down roots, open a flower shop, keep her sentient, mildly homicidal houseplant in check, and prune dark magic from the twisted boughs of her life. Violet's vibrant bouquets and cheerful enchantment soon charm the welcoming townsfolk, though nothing seems to impress the prickly yet dashingly handsome Nathaniel Marsh, an alchemist sharing her greenhouse. With a struggling business and his own second chance seemingly out of reach, Nathaniel has no time for flowers and frippery, and certainly none for the intriguing witch next door. When a mysterious blight endangers every living plant in Dragon's Rest, Violet and Nathaniel must work together through their fears, pasts, and growing feelings for each other to save their community, but with a figure from her previous life knocking at her door and her secrets threatening to uproot everything she's worked so hard to grow, Violet can't help but wonder, does a former villain truly deserve a happily ever after? Sounds cute. It's giving me kind of little cozy fantasy vibes, maybe but just because the sentient plant reminds me of, gosh, what book am I thinking of? The Spell Shop, I think, by Sarah Beth Durst. Rule number 5. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 orange. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 brown. Let's go to orange. Orange is miscellaneous, which is essentially the same as blue blank. Instagram scroll. All right, so rule number 5, we have miscellaneous and Instagram scroll. So I'm gonna go to Instagram and type in like hashtag Bookstagram probably, and then just start scrolling through posts. Okay, we came across Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. This is a book that's been on my shelf for a while. My copy is from Book of the Month. You can see the little symbol down here. It is really pretty. And I know there's a sequel to this, and I think it's out already. This says, Phantasma has only 2 rules: stay alive and don't fall in love. When Ophelia discovers her mother brutally murdered, there's no time to grieve. She has inherited the family's fearsome magic and enormous debt. Circumstances go from dire to deadly, however, when Ophelia's sister decides to pay off the loan by entering Phantasma, a competition where contestants rarely escape alive and the victor is granted a single wish. The only way for Ophelia to save her sister is to win, but Phantasma is a cursed manor full of twisting corridors and lavish ballrooms, staffed by enticing demons and fatal temptations. And Ophelia must conquer all 9 floors, and Ophelia must conquer all 9 floors to succeed if her fears don't overtake her first. When a charming, arrogant stranger claims he can help, Ophelia knows better than to trust him, but with her sister's life on the line, Ophelia can't afford to turn him away. She'll just need to ignore the overwhelming dark attraction, drawing them closer and closer together, because in Phantasma, the only thing deadlier than losing the game is losing your heart. Caraval vibes, anybody? Rule number 6. 1. Green, green, or green. So we have another middle grade. Dropping the cards. Okay, this says Once Upon a Book Club box. I don't have any of those anymore because I unsubscribed. So we're going to tuck this card back into the bottom of the stack and we'll pull another one. Green, Random Wheel of Titles. Rule number 6, we have middle grade Random Wheel of Titles. So I plugged in a few titles here and we're going to spin the wheel. I will screen record while it spins and let's see what we get. Okay, Pilar Ramirez and the Escape from Zaffa. This is by Julian Randall. 12-year-old Pilar Violeta Perp Ramirez's world is changing, and she doesn't care for it one bit. Her Chicago neighborhood is gentrifying, and her chores have doubled since her sister Lorena left for college. The only constant is Abuela and Mommy's code of silence around her cousin Natasha, who vanished in the Dominican Republic 50 years ago during the Trujillo dictatorship. When Pilar hears that Lorena's professor studies such disappearances, she hops on the next train to dig deeper into her family's mystery. After snooping around the professor's empty office, she discovers a folder with her cousin's name on it and gets sucked into the blank page within. She lands on Zaffa, an island swarming with coconut-shaped demons and butterfly shapeshifters, where her cousin is being held captive in a sinister magical prison. Pilar will have to go toe-to-toe with the fearsome Dominican boogeyman El Cuco if she has any hope of freeing Natasha and getting back home. This sounds like so much fun. All right, we're going to swatch out our pies. And roll number 7. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4 brown. We haven't done brown yet, so let's do brown realistic. My card deck. Got my cards here in this Scotch tin. If the first card I draw doesn't work for a realistic fiction, I will redraw. And here we go. I don't know why that one was facing the other way. Read a book that's been made into a movie and watch the movie. Okay, so I need a realistic book that's been made into a movie. Rule number 7, we need a realistic book that's been made into a movie. Now, I don't have one. I went through all of my realistic books that I haven't read yet. None of them have been made into a movie. So I think I'm going to go with a book that I think, from what I've heard about it, has a strong chance of possibly being made into a movie in the future. So I've been hearing so many good things about it, and there's been like a lot of positive talk for quite a while. I think, okay, maybe this has a shot, and it sounds really interesting. So it is The Lion Women of Tehran by Marjane Kamali. In 1950s Tehran, 7-year-old Ellie lives in grand comfort until the untimely death of her father, forcing her and her mother to move to a tiny home downtown. Lonely and bearing the brunt of her mother's endless grievances, Ellie dreams of having a friend to alleviate her isolation. Luckily, on the first day of school, she meets Homa, a kind, passionate girl with brave and irrepressible spirit. Together, the two girls play games, learn to cook in the stone kitchen of Homa's warm home, wander through the colorful stalls of the Grand Bazaar, and share their ambitions for becoming lion women. But their happiness is disrupted when Ellie and her mother are afforded the opportunity to return to their previous bourgeois life. As Ellie enjoys her new popularity at the best girls' high school in Iran, her memories of home begin to fade. Years later, however, Homa's sudden reappearance in Ellie's privileged world alters the course of both their lives. Together, the two young women come of age and pursue their own goals for meaningful futures. But as the political turmoil in Iran builds to a breaking point, one earth-shattering betrayal will have enormous consequences. So it sounds really intense, really interesting, and if it never gets made into a movie, oh well, I've still read the book, right? And again, I've heard so many good things. Roll number 8. 2. 1, 2 green, 1, 2 blue. Let's go blue. From a year's best reads video. So it could be any year, any channel. I just have to pick somebody's video and try a book that they thought that was the best of their year. Blue blank, we need to look at from a year's best video. And so I went to YouTube and searched in best books of the year, and I found Gavin from Gavin Reads It All, his video of the best reads of 2024. And I just kind of went through the video until I found a book that I have but haven't read. And so we're going to be going with The Dream Thieves by Maggie Stiefvater. This is book 2 in the Raven Boys cycle. I know I've only read book 1, and I know it's been out for ages and ages, but yeah. And you know how I feel about sequels. So do I have the first book here handy that I can read out the synopsis? Yes, I do. It's right here. So Raven Boys. Even if Blue hasn't been told her true love would die if she kissed him, she would stay away from boys, especially the ones from local private school. Known as Raven Boys, they only mean trouble. But this year that everything will change for Blue. This is the year that she'll be drawn into the strange and sinister world of the Raven Boys, and the year Blue will discover that magic does exist. This is the year she will fall in love. So it goes on to this one, and then there's Blue Lily Lily Blue and Raven King. So maybe this will inspire me to finish the series. Roll number 9. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 green. 1, 2, 3, 4 yellow. Let's do a yellow fantasy. Play Spookopalathon. Oh, good crud. Okay, I've got to run to the other room. Hang on. All right, here is Becca's Spookopalathon board from Becca in the Books. I'm going to put my little Ron guy on the Becca rec, and we're going to roll my D20 2 times. One to get us a starting point, because if we always start from the same place when we play this, that's kind of weird. And then the second roll will be the prompt that I have to do. 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 16. Okay, so we're starting right here. And our official roll to get a prompt, 20. Of course it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Toffee apple. And I've got to remind myself what that means. All right, so toffee apple means a sticky book, a book you think will be difficult to put down or will keep drawing you back in. Rule number 9, fantasy. We had to play Spookopalathon, and then we got toffee apple, a sticky book, which you think will be hard to put down or will keep sucking you back in. And for that one, I got Holly by Adeline Grace. This is another recently hauled book. I absolutely love the Belladonna series, and this is kind of like a Christmas time companion to it. And because it might spoil some things, I will just tell you, we start the series with Belladonna, and it's a dark fantasy, very dark. There's poison, there's family issues and drama, there's a bit of romance as well, there's spirits, there's all kinds of absolute craziness going on, but it's so good and atmospheric. So I'm super excited to get into this Christmassy book that's part of the series. All right, back to our rolls, and we are on roll number 10. 1, orange or brown. Let's go orange miscellaneous. And we have an audiobook. Okay, cool. Rule number 10, miscellaneous and audiobook. Now I have one that my hold from Libby is going to be coming up very soon, and it is The House of My Mother by Sherry Frankie. She is the daughter of Ruby Frankie. And I'm going to read the synopsis here. It says, from eldest daughter Sherry Frankie, the shocking true story behind viral 8 Passengers family vlog, now the subject of a new Hulu docuseries, and the hidden abuse she suffered at the hands of her mother, and how in the face of unimaginable pain she found freedom and healing. Sherry Frankie's childhood was a constant battle for survival. Her mother, Ruby Frankie, enforced a severe moral code while maintaining the facade of a picture-perfect family for their wildly popular YouTube channel 8 Passengers, which documented the day-to-day life of raising 6 children for a staggering 2.5 million subscribers. But a darker truth lurked beneath the surface. Ruby's wholesome online persona masked a more tyrannical parenting style than anyone could have imagined. As the family's YouTube notoriety grew, so did Ruby's delusions of righteousness. Fueled by the sadistic influence of relationship coach Jodi Hildebrand, together they implemented an inhumane and merciless disciplinary regime. Now, if you aren't aware of Ruby Frankie and Jodi Hildebrand, they are absolute garbage people and deserve to burn in hell. I said it. Yeah, they abuse children, so they deserve it. But this is Ruby's oldest daughter, Sherry, and I'm very intrigued to hear her experience. I am not excited, I would say, but I'm intrigued, because excited would imply that I want to hear about the horrible things, but I'm intrigued to hear her point of view. Roll number 11. 1 again, green or yellow. I really want to hit fantasy, so let's go yellow. And POC author. Roll number 11, we need a fantasy with a POC author. So we're going to go with one more recently hauled book, Song of Silver Flame Like Night by Amelie Wen Zhao. Lan spends her nights as a songgirl in Hong Kong, a city transformed by Atlantean colonizers. Her days are consumed by the search for knowledge about the strange mark, an untranslatable hidden character burned into her arm by her mother in her last act before she died. Zen is a practitioner, one of the fabled magicians of the Last Kingdom. He's never seen anything like Lan's mark, but he knows that if there are answers, they lie deep in the pine forests and misty mountains of the Last Kingdom. With an order of practicing masters planning to overthrow the Atlantean regime. Yet both Lan and Zin are hiding secrets that are buried deep within them, secrets that even they still have to unearth. Both hold the power to liberate their land if they don't destroy it first. Now the battle for the last kingdom begins. I'm sorry I keep stumbling over words. And it's making me giggle at myself because I'm such an idiot sometimes, but I mean, we struggle. Rule number 12. 2. 1, 2 green, 1, 2 yellow. Oh, good gracious. Okay, we've already done 3 yellows so far and only 2 greens, so let's go to the green. Another middle grade. Or do I want to do fantasy? No, let's do middle grade. Okay. 200 to 400 pages. That should not be a problem. Rule number 12, we need a middle grade that's between 200 and 400 pages. And I'm going to go with one that my students have been wanting me to read. This is City Spies by James Ponti. It is the first in a series that's been around for a while, I believe. Sarah Martinez is a hacker. She recently broke into the New York City foster care system to expose her foster parents as cheats and lawbreakers. However, instead of being hailed as a hero, Sarah finds herself facing years in juvenile detention and even worse, banned from using computers. Enter her mother, a British spy who offers her way out of current problem and the chance to make a home for herself within a top secret MI6 agency. Operating out of a base in Scotland, the City Spies are 5 kids from various parts of the world. When not attending the local boarding school, they are honing their unique skills, such as sleight of hand, breaking and entering, observation, and explosives. Jumping right into the action, Sarah soon finds herself taking her computer savvy to Paris for an international youth summit, hacking into a rival school's computer to prevent them from winning €1 million, dangling 30 feet off the side of a building, and trying to stop a villain, all while navigating the complex dynamics of her new family. No one said saving the world was going to be easy. Alright, so that brings us to the end of our dice rolls. We need to do our hat pick and our wooden dice, actually. So let's take care of those last 2, and my stack of books is already gigantic. Alright, it's time to draw from the hat. As always, just a warning, this hasn't been updated in a while, so I might at first draw something I've already read or unhauled, but let's dig in and see what we can find. I got hold of one piece of paper. What is it? Is that Thistlefoot? Yes, Thistlefoot by Jenna Rose Nethercott. Did I already read that? One moment, por favor. Yes, I read that, so we're going to draw again. The Troubled Girls of Dragomir Academy. There we go. All right, I have not read this one. Here is a look at the cover. It's a very cool cover, I think. This is middle grade, I believe. And let's see what the synopsis says. If no one notices Maria Lupa, it's likely because of her brother Luca. And that's because of what everyone knows. Luca is destined to become a sorcerer. For all the hopes the family has for Luca, no one has any for Maria, who can never seem to do anything right. But even so, no one is prepared for the day that the sorceress finally arrived to test Luca for magical ability, and Maria makes a terrible mistake. Nor the day after when the Lupas receive a letter from Dragomir Academy, a mysterious girl for wayward young girls. Soon Maria is 100 miles from home in a strange and unfamiliar place surrounded by girls she's never met. Dragomir Academy promises Maria and her classmates a chance to make something of themselves, but as they learn how to fit into a world with no place for them, they begin to discover things about the magic the men of their country wield, things that threaten the precarious balance upon which their country is built. That should be good, I hope. All right, up next we have our decider dice. We have one dice that tells us a location to find a book, and then another dice that gives us a genre. So we will do the location dice first. TBR pile. Sorry, I forgot to show you. Okay, here's a look at the... There you go. There's the TBR pile. And then the genre. All right. There's that. It says fantasy and sci-fi. I'm going to look at my priority stack and see what I've got that will fit that. Okay, so we're going to go with this book, which is All Better Now by Neil Shusterman. This is his newest book, and it is dystopian, I believe, which is a subgenre of sci-fi. So we're going to count this. It says, the Crown Royale virus kills 1 out of every 25 people who contract it. But those who survive experience a long-term effect no one has ever seen before, utter contentment. Stress, depression, greed, all negative feelings are gone. More and more people begin to revel in the mass unburdening, but not everyone. People in power know that without anger or jealousy as motivators, productivity surely will grind to a halt, and the world will be thrown into chaos. The race to find a vaccine begins while a growing movement of recoveries plans ways to spread the virus as fast as it can. Both sides claim they're saving the world. 3 teens from very different backgrounds who've had their lives upended in very different ways find themselves at the center of a power play that could change humanity forever. Okay. Thank goodness for Christmas break is all I've got to say, because let's take a look. Holy cow. I got these ones plus 1 audiobook. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed the game, and let me just ask a quick favor. Checking the stats on some of my videos. A bunch of people who watch this particular one are not subscribed, and I'd really like to get to 1,000 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed already, please do, and you can choose which videos you want to be notified, like all or just a few. If you just like the TBR ones and stuff, and it would help me out. If you don't want to do that, leave me a like, thumbs up, or a comment, or like a little book emoji, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a wonderful, magical, and bookish day. Happy reading. Adios.